And it's 9 o'clock. I call this Sawyer County Public Safety Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Ron Buckholz.
Present.
Mark Helwig.
Here.
Jeff Haney.
Here.
Marshall Savitsky.
Here.
John Sarowski.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay, all right. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, certification of compliance with open meeting law.
This meeting has been noticed to the public and news media as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Okay. Meeting agenda has been presented. Number 6, public comment. We have one, Ms. Zilmer.
Morning, Linda Zilmer, Edgewater property owner and resident of the village of Birchwood. Want to repeat comments that I've made for several months in different committees and to the county board, is that to please ask that the ambulance service reports, not just the runs that they cover, but also the runs within Sawyer County that are covered by outside entities such as the Birchwood Four Corners Emergency Services District and other entities. Another thing is that I know that Round Lake has made a request. I know that there are ongoing issues with the situation with the town of Edgewater, but I do think response times, just numbers of calls, are also important, especially when you hear extensive response times of an hour or more. And finally, UW has people who can do analytical analysis of where ambulances are stationed and staffing, and to try and set goals for reduced response times. And after this meeting, I will send the committee and the county administrator some contact information about how maybe Sawyer County would like to approach handling how they are going to continue to provide ambulance coverage for the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? No hands up then? Okay. All right, number 7, consider approval of the previous minutes on 9/5/24. Need a motion to approve, please.
I make that motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion by Mr. Sarowski, second by Mr. Helwig, to approve the minutes of the 9/5/24. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Thank you. All right. Number 8, circuit court. We don't have a judge today. Would you like to speak, ma'am? You want to come up and state your name for us, please?
Sari Torstensen, Judge Isham's JA, and I'm just letting you know she's on her way here. She
Okay.
got a flat tire, so she's hoping
Oh,
that
okay.
she'll be here before the meeting's over.
All right. We'll fit her in there. All right. Thank you. All right. Number 9, clerk of courts. Office report. Marge?
Just wondering if anybody has any questions on my report?
No, the only question I had already asked. So, anybody have any questions for her? Okay, thank you,
you.
Marge, for your report.
Thank you.
All right, number 10, Sheriff's Department report, patrol report. Lieutenant?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And you can see from our report that the numbers slightly decreased to 778 for the month, showing our 3-month trend for July of 770, August of 921. And this time last year, we had 782. For the reporting period, we had 49 traffic citations, 27 written warnings, and 3 non-traffic citations. Per community maps, there have been 11 total crashes, 5 with personal injury. No fatalities for the reporting period. However, just that past weekend, we did have 1 additional fatality, bringing our total to date to 247 crashes, 59 personal injuries, and now 3 fatalities. We've completed our selection process for the vacancy for the patrol deputy. We've made an offer to Dane Learman from the Hayward area. Comes to us with prior experience from the Ladysmith Police Department and Wisconsin DNR. We're expecting him to begin field training shortly and hopefully to have him back on staff here in the coming year. The 46th annual Stone Lake Cranberry Fest is October 5th and hosts about 300 vendors and upwards of 30,000 visitors to the Stone Lake area. That's a lot of people to cram in on that one-day event. We'll have a large presence there, traffic control, along with the State Patrol and our partners over at the Washburn Sheriff's Office. That concludes my report.
Oh, thank you. All right, anyone have any questions for the lieutenant? Sheriff, you wanna say something or you waiting for the next one?
I'll do the jail report.
Oh, all right. So we have no more questions. All right, we'll go on to the jail report.
I'll give the jail report with Lieutenant Wooler attending the jail admin conference, annual conference. Just a couple things I want to highlight. Everybody received the report there. Our daily average population on the average is continuing to come down. Year to date, our average is just over 60 inmates, which is good news. We have currently 3 on electronic monitoring. And additionally, I want to mention that we are required annually to offer tours to the county board, jail tours. And that's something in the next couple of months, if you want to. I know in the past, we've typically had them or offered them just prior to a county board meeting so that all the county board members could tour the jail if they wanted to. So in the next couple of months, I'll leave that up to the board and the committee here scheduling that, but we can accommodate anything that way, whatever works best for you.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. I mean, it's something that I think the county board should tour is the jail. And I guess we'll just set something up with that. Sure. For the county board to tour it and.
And then additionally, I know there's been discussion and it's surfaced with some counties about jail classifications. We have a jail inspection coming up here in November. We have a new jail inspector. Our former jail inspector retired. And so we'll meet our new jail inspector. But with that, our annual inspections include classifications and how everything's done with inmates. And we've had very, very positive reports for years and years. We have classified our inmates for probably 25 years and been in compliance. They go over all of the non-compliance issues during the jail inspections. And we're pretty proud of our jail inspection report annually here. It's been very positive for years.
Good to hear that. So, all right, anybody have any questions for the sheriff on that? Anybody online, Lynn, or no? Okay, all right, number C, Communication Center and Emergency Management report.
Excuse me, Director Krasinski provided reports. I guess if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them. She's currently attending an emergency planning course that she is hosting at the sheriff's office. That's where she is today. I guess the total number of calls for service for September as of 9/24 were 1,085. And the total number of calls for service for the year is 13,825. That's up a little bit from last year.
Okay. All right. Anyone have any questions for that? All right, thank you, Chief Deputy, appreciate it. All right, number D, Communication Specialist report.
Do you have anything just wanted to report on the current system?
Seems to be fairly quiet and running rather stable.
Whatever you said.
To be honest, I'd rather not say anything.
Okay.
You don't want to jinx it.
Okay,
And well, then I'll go to 1 and 2. So
Yes.
with the moving on away from the discussions we had the last few months regarding bug tussle, what I have there is just nothing you haven't seen before. It's the proposal from GenCom to move ahead with building or improving our own network a couple new tower sites, new equipment. This will get us the 90% coverage throughout the county with 95% reliability. This is the system that we reviewed over the summer. And just to have summarized it there, they did provide an updated quote that's attached last month, which we looked at, and then a resolution to, I guess, essentially solidify that we're moving ahead with it. And that it's a project budget of 2.75 million, which it does not match up with GenCom's quote. I included a contingency in our project budget. I guess this is just a formality, I think, to say we're moving ahead with GenCom in the proposal, and it's going to be included in the 25 budget, which it is. It's been included in the budget you've already seen, so.
And nothing has changed on the price of anything?
Nope.
Okay.
And I guess one of the comments I'll add is they've outlined the hardware, the microwave backhaul, the tower locations. So this is the proposal. As we move ahead with it and we start doing the work, things might change. A couple of the tower sites that have been proposed where we build new towers, we will be reaching out to, there are towers in those areas. We anticipate that the lease prices might be higher than what we want to pay, but we will still be a potential tower that we might want to build. We might have an option to lease space on. And if the price is favorable, we might switch to that. There might be those types of changes as we move ahead. But the bottom line is that the network coverage is what will guide to make sure we get that coverage that we've outlined.
Did we ever find out anything from LCL?
Not yet. We did just in the last couple of weeks, though, give them a full list of the equipment that would go on that tower. So they're reviewing that, and that for the purposes of coming to an agreement on a lease.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Now's the time to speak.
Make a motion to approve. We proceed with the public safety radio system improvements, the resolution.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Helwig. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second by Mr. Sorolski to approve the communication system specialist project. Okay, any more discussion? Marshall? Nothing?
Not good.
Mr. Haney? All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries to approve. Now that goes back to the county board, right? Okay,
I just want to say that
go ahead.
something that was in the bug tussle situation there, whatever was the broadband, and something that maybe we can start looking forward to in the following budget to get something worked out there.
Yes, and I guess the other things that we've discussed with GenCom since last month's board meeting is if we have towers that we've end up building, they'll help us assist if we want to lease space on our towers, as well as we are reaching out to the state about the tower on the east side of the county to see if state wants to partner up on that tower. So things are moving ahead.
So one of my things is though, on broadband, the county board throwed out a lot of ARPA money to these systems and broadband is out there. I think the biggest concern, and I agree with Mr. Righeimer when he was on it, that we need cell coverage in spots because it's very, very bad if you need to use your cell phone in an emergency out there. So that's my thought on that. So, but are there any more questions from you guys? If not, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. We did that again, so. Oops. Now we know. All right. Number E, code enforcement specialist.
Thank you. I want to apologize for not having my report submitted. This last month, I did a week-long training for humane officer. And then I had a week of catch up when I got back. So with that being said, I'm officially a certified humane officer with that training being completed. In regards to my report, so this month, or last month, September, we didn't have very many dog license being issued as our 2025 season is going to be starting here in November. So revenue's been pretty slow. In pound, we've only had 3 dogs that came into the pound last month. And those were all released back to their owners. We did have a very nice donation by an individual for $100 check and then some dog beds, towels, bowls, that kind of stuff. So that's always greatly appreciated. In regards to the calls that we've been receiving, it's pretty consistent with the at-large dogs being the top complaint. In regards to the dog pound itself, almost done painting, just a very small section left. And then we are going to be looking at redoing the floors in there. And let's see, in regards to public health or human health, I've started to work more with the tourist rooming house complaints and that kind of stuff. So helping investigate those and reporting back to them and stuff. So moving along there as well. That's all I got.
Right. Any question?
I was gonna say,
Go ahead.
so will you be reporting to us any of the rooming house issues?
Yeah, I can. It's not much right now. It's
Well-
just, yeah, but I definitely can, yeah.
In the future?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, number 11, Child Support Department.
Good morning. I did provide a written report, and I just would like to add, we had our state audit, and we were successful in that. The auditor did highlight that Sawyer County hasn't been attending any of the training or the conferences that the state provides. Every year, there's a director's dialogue in the spring, and there's the fall conference in the fall, which is a big deal. We haven't attended any since COVID. We get the agenda in advance, and if there's something on there that we feel we need to have some additional training on, we usually wait until everything's over and then we get the written material and we just do it in the office. We just haven't been attending. It saves us money. I actually don't even budget anymore for lodging, mileage, or meals. It just works better for us. The auditor felt that we should start attending more because in addition to the written material, you can do a lot of brainstorming with your colleagues and learn best tips from those counties. So that's something that we're going to think about. And another thing that's just been rearing its ugly head is a lot of the administrative requirements with IRS, background checks, fingerprinting, that was all due in the month of September, and Rose really helped out a lot. She does our background checks. The sheriff's department was going to do the fingerprinting, but the state required us to go to Field Print. I think it's all about money, but that's who the state contracts with. So we had to, 3 of us went to Spooner's Field Print office. 1 went to Ashland. We got in under the wire. We were due, our 5 years expired on September 26th. We got it done on September 20th. Our DMV, I'm the only one with DMV clearance. That is now every 4 years, we have to have a criminal background check. And that was done in 2022. So we're good on that until 2026. And now we have to start sending all of our emails encrypted if there's anything, not even social security numbers, if there's first name and last name, anything like that, even between departments that are bonded as much as we're bonded, like Health and Human Services. If they send me an email about needing paternity established, it has to be encrypted. If I respond to them, it has to be encrypted. So we've been working with IT to get all of our emails encrypted. So what it's doing, it's taking us away from our work, our child support work. So in the next few months, we're probably going to see our performance measures go down because we're not able to do And it's what the three of us with cases, that's what we like to do. We like to go down that rabbit hole. We like to find the people. We like to find their employers. We don't like this busy work, but the state's putting the screws to us, so we're gonna spend some time doing what the state wants us to do, so.
Yeah, you gotta always do what the state wants. There's no doubt.
And I know it's because they have the agreements with the feds. It's, you know, the state has the agreements with the feds in order for us to have access to federal tax intercepts and social security numbers and the ability to pull up someone's driver's license. I get it. It's just annoying, but we're doing it.
Okay. All right, anybody have any questions? All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, number 12, emergency services, ambulance, medical examiner update, Mr. Fremmel.
Right, we're actually a lot busier this year than we were last year, by about 173 runs. They've been pretty high duty. Since this report came out, so I wanted to add to it, but we had 2 saves in the field, which is awesome, and a couple people that got to that were able to get to St. Mary's in a really quick amount of time for my medics recognizing a full-blown heart attack in a couple people, and those people that got sent out made full recoveries and walking around today.
Good.
Obviously, you see the run breakdown, what we got. I did have a meeting with the people who own Image Trend, their tech support. We did find that we were under-reporting runs because some of the runs were getting classified, not on our end, it was just whenever it went over, they were having a hard time with something, so that should actually be a little more accurate, both the runs now. You know, I do that, still count a couple by hand, which is not a big deal. You can see that Narcan used by law enforcement has been more, we quantify the dosage. My medics and my EMTs know that when they get on scene, you know, we try to get what the officers state they say, but we also look at what's going on now. They've been using Narcan to say, I've only had so far to date, I think 2 overdose tests so far. And they were well beyond being able to be saved, so the Narcan out in the field has actually been a great help to Sawyer County. Law enforcement's been doing great on that. When it comes to family members, we can only take their word, so that's why it says approximately how much we use. And a lot of times, a lot of the Narcan that is used on scene by family are well past expiration dates and stuff, so. We've upgraded to our O2 ventilators, so that's for people that have to have emergency transfers and stuff that are on breathing tubes, that's what those are for. My medics are well trained in them. And when we get calls for transfers for people that are on vents, that's what those are for. We're almost done. Right now, they're working on framing the last wall up for the 4th crew room, so we can have 2 24-hour crews at Hayward to facilitate moving ambulances as other ambulances go in service. I'll have to be able to staff an ambulance that heads down and sits.
Yeah, pretty cool. So it's up to about 74 right now. Usually quit.
Our co-hero for the medical examiner. We had a little bit of snafu with the data conversion, so I wasn't able to get the accurate stuff from that. The text for that are redoing all that, and I should be, hopefully by next month, have all my data into the new system now that Tyler is no longer with us. Other than that, any questions?
I got one question, Mr. Fremmel. I'm looking at your run breakdown here. You have out of county, you have 86 runs. Where them consist from?
So I count them by hand. I did put it in my report. So about, let's see here. Again, the 86 runs consist of a mix of standbys, transfers, and intercepts. Transfers make up approximately 80% of that.
Okay.
So,
So how's it going with, Washburn,
with Washburn,
Birchwood?
we're doing good.
Okay. Okay, I mean, I haven't heard a whole lot about it since we had that meeting up there, so.
Yeah, so far, I mean, we haven't had any, major issues that were brought to my attention,
Okay.
so.
Andy, you got something you want to say?
Yeah, just within the last month, I had met with two citizens from the town of Edgewater who, I'm not sure if they have a committee or if what they're exactly doing. They had the same questions we went through last year, though, as far as how is the a town assessed for the ambulance service, and they're concerned about the town paying to be a part of the Four Corners service, as well as the taxpayers getting assessed. We went through that, but we talked about some of the past issues with between calls and how they've gone. I did get a message back from them this week that they had a meeting with the town board and the head of the ambulance service down there. And since I don't remember when it was earlier this year, we had kind of that meeting with them. There's been no issue since then.
Okay.
As far as issues on calls.
On call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
One other thing I just maybe add to, because I think there's that discussion that's been ongoing. Town of Round Lake has requested, and I still need to meet with the town of Round Lake about their request to consider a full-time ambulance garage in the township. John and I have been working through a number of issues with the ambulance service. But I would say, one of the issues we have right now is we are understaffed significantly in our paramedic area. We just had another resignation. So we are trying to build up with some part-time, but we have 4 people that are in paramedic school that should be ready to be full-time paramedics for us in January. That will fill in a lot of the blanks, but right now we're really just trying to cover what we have as far as having paramedics on duty when we need them. There is some overtime there. We're talking about some rate adjustments, but it's been an ongoing issue. And again, now we've dipped down again. So it's an issue keeping things covered just with what we have.
Well, being short people and using what you have, you're gonna have overtime. There's just no way around it.
Yeah, what is the reason that we're short? Is it because, and why did the person resign?
So, I can't get into the reason.
Right, I mean-
The reason that we're short, like, the whole state is short on paramedics. And there's a lot of schools going on, but they're like this one we have 4 people in, right? There's another one that's following it, but there's only like 5 students in the whole class. And only one of them are ours. So, I mean, in 2 years, and it's a 2-year class, so potentially in 2 years, I might have another one. And that's why, so there's just not a lot of volume, coming in. And in EMS, we're a high turnover kind of thing, because there's a lot of stress, a lot of go. And so we're actually losing, for every one person we gain, we end up losing like 1 or 2 people. So until they can, and I don't know if that's a state issue or if that's going to be a federal issue, but until we can bring the pool of medics back up, and EMTs, because even EMTs are becoming harder to get. The requirements for an EMT are not like it was back in, even when I took it in 2009. I mean, you're looking at a full-time, 200 and some hours for EMT basic class. The EMR class that they have now is as long as the EMT basic class used to be. So, and it's even hard to get EMRs right now.
So is there anything that you and Andy had talked about, maybe
we've
getting more?
Yep, we've been talking about it. I've been pushing the basic classes and like paying for people to get into the basic, because if I can get people in as EMTs to start working for me, and then we just support them as they go and they upgrade, those people tend to stay a lot longer.
Okay.
you know, because they feel like we're appreciating them, we're helping them out, we're getting them through school. And that's already in the works. We've been doing that. That's why we have the 4 people that are in paramedics, 3 of them that we're sponsoring. So, and we do the same thing with the basic classes, you know, because I increased our education budget to help pay for people's basics and stuff. It's just, even with that money out there, I'm not getting people coming in.
Yeah,
Andy?
yeah, I was just gonna echo that some of it's long-term, it's hard to do things today to make it better tomorrow, but
Yeah.
we, you know, and I think it's the same in sheriff's department, and paramedics that, you know, you've seen, we've sponsored some people that we've had as employees to go become certified law enforcement and now paramedics. We think that's probably the best strategy, you know, if we have them here already and they want to live in the community, to get them trained so we can move them up to where we need them. Then we've also, I mean, as far as paramedics, we have RNs that we bring on part-time. I mean, they have nurse jobs, but we can bring them in to help with being paramedics and transfers. Most of the paramedics we have, not all, but don't work for just us. They work for multiple services. So we've adjusted schedules to go to 24-hour scheduling so they can be here a couple days, then they have 5 days. And like John said, that's really the issue, is it's a supply and demand. Supply is low, demand is high, so I'm reluctant just to jump to, you know, just keep on bumping wages at some point.
Right.
We're just trying to make long-term investments to not have to do that.
Well, we appreciate, Mr. Fremmel, what you're doing and try to keep everybody out there and keeping us all safe.
Who are you losing them to? Like people in the trades or other
Well-
counties or?
Most of them are, you know, when you get your paramedic license, that's an associate's degree, so some of them I lose to law enforcement, some of them I lose to other services, like private services, you know, they offer big bonuses, they offer higher wages. And the problem is they don't care about just cutting and stopping that, right? So right now, like Annie was saying, I'm more focused on the long-term goal of sustainability than to offer like all these carrots and just get a temporary, you know, surge of people for a short amount of time.
Hey, Mr. Sarowski?
John, there was talk not long ago about trying to enlist people from the high schools. Has anything come of that?
So we did the trial class for the EMR. I taught last year, and we ended up getting one person out of that class. We didn't do it this year, just number one, because I got a lot of paramedics in school and I've been doing a lot of training. We are looking, and I'm actually looking for a partner. One of the tech colleges have to be on board. And when they're also teaching a lot of classes, it's hard to get them to sit down with me. And, you know, and Northwood Tech they've been really busy. So now that the high school in Hayward is completed and they got all their stuff done, most likely this next year, I'm going to probably offer another EMR class for the high schools. And we'll reach out to Winter again and see if they're available, but it's instructors, the tech class, colleges, you know, that's gonna be the hard part. You know, I can only be one place at one time.
However I can help out with that, let me know.
Beautiful, I would,
Just let me know.
so if you wanna get a hold of me sometime this summer, like after this year's school's done, and then we can sit down and we can start talking about that.
Yeah.
You know, and start doing it, because it works, it's really good, you know, and the more we get it, if we can get it more of an actual class in the high schools, you know, instead of like a one-off stuff, then, and get some more instructors. And that's the other thing I'm doing right now is I'm trying to build up my instructors that actually work for Sawyer County Ambulance, which we do have 4 new instructors now that are under the tech college. So, and then they're trying to get their level 1 right now. They're trying to get their level 2 where they can teach their own classes. So that's kind of my push.
Be interesting because my son teaches at the high school.
Okay.
And my daughter-in-law also teaches at the high school. And I guess I finally realized that there's a lot of really good kids here in school. There's the ones like I used to be. But there are good kids that really don't want to leave.
Yep.
So if they want to stick around, I mean, that'd be a perfect spot.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I push for like, trying to push the people start going into EMRs and stuff like that, or going into the basic, because, Sawyer County is kind of, I don't want to say unique, but we do offer work now, and there's plenty available for EMS right now.
Yeah.
For people who live in those type of communities, because, normally where are you driving when you live in Winter or you live in Exland, you're driving to Ladysmith,
Sure.
Rice Lake, or Hayward.
Mhm.
No,
I think it's great. Yeah, we can work together. Great.
awesome.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions for Mr. Freeman? Thank you, John. All right. Number 13, Criminal Justice Coordinating Council update. Andy?
Yes, in your packet is a amended MOU, a CJCC MOU between the county and Lac Ray. So the tribal governing board has been going through this. We hadn't heard anything for quite a few months, and we received this a couple weeks ago. So you can see it's been approved by them and signed. However, they did make a couple amendments to it. They can be found on page 2 of the MOU itself. I just want to highlight those for you. So just above where it says CJCC/Justice Point, the paragraph above that has been added. It says the county shall mandate that the Lac Ray tribal member status and any other tribal member status designations be included on the Sawyer County Jail Report. This designation was recently taken off the jail roster, and this failure to include tribal status hinders the tribe's ability to monitor the disappropriate rate of tribal members in the jail. And then the paragraph just below that, they asked that the executive director of Justice Point be obligated to provide a quarterly report to the tribal governing board at a regularly scheduled meeting to discuss the services being provided to tribal members.
Okay.
So I've talked to the sheriff about the first paragraph that's been added. We don't have any issues with including that. That data has been gathered, even though it's not included on the jail report that you see. It was a decision to focus on the employment of the individuals we have in jail, as that's usually a good indication of why they're in jail. So we and I've responded to when I received this to the attorney at the tribe that I was working with, just to ask. I mean, we can do this. We can put on the jail report that you get. I just asked them if it's more important for it to be on the jail report that is distributed during our committee meetings, or do they just want the data directly given to them? We can go either way on that. And then as far as Justice Point reporting to the tribal governing board, I've ran that by them. They're fine with that. They try to make a couple presentations a year as it is. And so that's good communication for them. So we don't have any issues with the additional language. And the other thing I wanted to point out that this is just, the prior agreement was for 5 years that expired this spring. This one that would actually just be for this year. From where was it here? This one expires in February now. Fills in, it actually backdates to be effective for February 1st, 24 through January 31st of next year.
Yes.
So we'll already be almost talking about getting another one in place as this one's adopted.
So did they give you the money that they were obligated?
They have not. We've sent them the invoice. We have not received it, but this would put it in place, so they should provide the funds.
All right. And Sheriff, you're all right with it? I take it from Andy said?
No issues here.
Okay.
We're good with it
All right.
and support moving forward.
I think I remember a while ago this was brought up.
Sheriff had his reason.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to make and reiterate what Andy brought up as a point. that information was never eliminated or not collected. It's available and there's even more data. And we work with the tribe. They contact us a lot for grants and we'll help them any way we can when they contact us for data to help support them with grants. We hold nothing back. It's just a matter of if it's an issue of putting it on the jail report, we can work that out. But that data has never been eliminated or not collected.
So you'll be putting the race back on the jail report, is that?
That's the issue and we'll put the race back on. The information was there. We have it. We've offered to support and supply that with them as well. But I think it might be a personal issue with one or two there.
Yeah, problem. Always got to be a problem somewhere. So, all right, so we need to act on this, Andy, right?
Yeah, I think
All right,
motion to,
we need a motion to approve the joint MOU with LCO.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Savitsky. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Hellwig. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Number 14, board appointed committee updates. Anybody got any committee updates? We don't get many on stuff on that anymore. Okay, all right. Number 15, future agenda items. Not. Number 16, correspondence reports from conference and meetings. I just want to bring up one thing that I learned down at our WCA in La Crosse, that there's a few of our board members, when a motion is made, that they say so moved. We can't use that. That's not a binding term to approve a motion. So I'm just letting everybody know you don't use that. We have a few board members that do, and I will bring that up with them too later, maybe not the county board meeting. So if there's no more discussion or anything, nothing on the agenda, thank you, everybody. We are adjourned.